One of you read this. Okay, Niruta Sharma, you are asked to read this question.
Education empowers a person. Elaborate this statement giving examples of your personal
Experience. Okay. Education empowers a person. Elaborate this statement giving examples of your personal experience. What does that empowerment means? Giving power to a person. Education has become the weapon. All the time we are discussing about education since we started the speech of Malala. Okay. All the time we are focusing on education first. Education is our first priority, and it should be made the first priority by the government. That's why education can function as a powerful weapon for a person, so that he can or she can fight with every difficulties, face the challenges that whichever come in our life. Even this is what important in our what life, because only the educated persons, especially the educated person, better get job opportunities but in our society. Okay, that's why education also gives you power to fight against every challenges which may come, which may appear in front of our journey of life, because life is a journey which starts from our womb and continues till the tomb. And during this journey of life we may face a series of the difficulties, and education helps us to fight with every difficulties and overcome them. Okay, that's why education empowers a person. The President of General Assembly of the UN, Sam K. Kutesa, opened the sixth session with this observation. What is that observation? Okay, the more young people grow into well-educated adults, okay, remember this, that is not my opinion, that is the opinion of, that the observation of Sam K. Kutesa, is the what President of General Assembly of the UN. Okay, in the UN, in the General Assembly of the UN, Sam K. Kutesa, the President of General Assembly, what started the session, that seminar, what with this observation: the more young people grow into well-educated adults with a fewer dependent and new opportunities to acquire wealth, saving and purchasing power, the more they will be able to accelerate economic growth and development. What does that saying mean? The saying is that whenever the young people but grow into educated adults, they better involve in income generating and skill generating activities. Because of that, the whole economy of the nation pushed up. Okay, this is the observations that was made by Sam K. Kutesa, the President of General Assembly of UN. Okay, he expresses that education, what is the key factor to give power to the individuals, so that they can face all the difficulties they may appear in front of their life. And another thing is that whenever the people get educated, certainly the economy of the nations can be boosted up. Okay, this statement clearly states that, okay, this statement clearly states that education empowers people academically and financially. There is an elaboration of the observation made by Sam K. Kutesa. This statement clearly states that education empowers people academically and financially. In both fields, in academic field and financial field, but people can be empowered so that they can fight with every difficulties. I already told you, every difficulties appear in front of them in the days ahead. That's why education, what people should be educated, and they should be given the access of education, so that they can fight with the difficulties and they can bring about progressive betterment and success of the nation by means of improving the economy of the state. In this regard, education is the preliminary factor for any type of transfigurement and prosperity. If you want to bring about change in the society, if you want to bring about the prosperity in the society. Prosperity means for sophistication, development of the society, and transfigurement means change in the society. What education is the preliminary factor to be considered. Education is the preliminary factor to be understood by all the individuals. Okay, dear student, have you got the first slide? This is the elaboration of the observation made by Sam K. Kutesa regarding education. When people are educated, the economy of the nation boosts up. This is the conclusion. Okay. Similarly, education develops the people, what empowers the people in two ways: academically and financially. Because what the result of that? What the consequence of academic development and financial development of the individuals? The result is that the individual can fight with difficulties and the challenges they may appear in front of the life. Because of that, education should be considered as the preliminary factor for any type of transfigurement and prosperity. Prosperity is the development of any nations. Transfigurement is the change. Okay, for example, I'm giving you a simple example. Suppose in a locality, there are superstitious people, or there are the people who believe in this logic-less, reason-less, or fact-less subject matters. We can change that. We can uproot such social evils by the power of education. Don't you think so? We can change the ignorant people into knowledge because of the power of education. That's the example I have given you. Now, good education empowers people and makes the individual resourceful. You have got enough materials. You have got enough weapons. That weapon is pain. That weapon is education. That weapon is courage. That weapon is skills you have got. If you are skillful, you can easily sell your skill in the international commercial markets, and you can be easily job employed. That's why good educations that empowers the people and makes the individual resourceful, so as to foster their career in life. They can develop their career, they can develop their life at the presence of good education. It brings about complete dimensional shift, complete change from ignorance to acknowledgement. Their student focus here. Why do you think that education is power? Education is what? Why do you think that education empowers? How can you say that? Education empowers the people because it has the potentiality to bring about dynamic and dimensional shift in the life of the individual from ignorance to acknowledgement. When people are ignorant, after education they become acknowledged. They become knowledgeous. From illiteracy to literacy. Education is education changes people from illiteracy to literacy, irrationality to rationality. Because of the power of education, people become rational. Previously, they were irrational. Similarly, financially bankruptcy to financial sophistication. People were poor because of the lack of education. Okay, the economy, the money is nothing, but here education is everything. If you lost education, everything is lost. Remember that. Financial bankruptcy to financial sophistication and furthermore. That's why education empowers the people. And this is a very strong statement for you. That's a very strong support for you to support that education empowers people. I think you might have screenshot. You might have saw the screen. It is responsible to reduce poverty. Education is responsible to reduce poverty, boost economic growth, lead to better health, survival rates, and promote gender equality, and so on. Because of that, education empowers people. Dear students, very strong support is there to clarify that education empowers people. How? How is it? It empowers people because it is the responsible factor to reduce poverty, to boost up the economic growth, and to lead the better health and survival rates, to promote gender equality, end of any type of discrimination, end of social abuse, end of superstitious beliefs. All those negative aspects or negative indicators of the society can be what ended, can be totally discouraged because of the power of education. For example, the women these days are stepping ahead and entering into various political and social mainstream. It is because of the power of education, because they get impetus from what? Educational potentiality. That's why first priority is education. Children should be given access of education. Women should be given access of education. All the people all over the world should be given the access of education because education empowers people. I think you can easily write down, you can easily respond to this question, okay? The education the individuals are acquiring empowers people with skills because of which they can face challenge and think about THINK and think about bringing all of them into logical solution. We can solve all the problem logically because of the power of education. Their students have these ideas in your mind so that you can easily justify that. Here are some examples. Even you can have a screenshot of this. As the economist Amartya Sen pointed out in his book Development as Freedom, I have cited reference, that the reference. Okay, Amartya Sen pointed out in his book Development and Freedom, education is crucial, very crucial to give people capabilities such as literacy, confidence, and attitudes that they need to participate in society. Education gives, according to Amartya Sen, as mentioned in his bulky book, Development and what is Freedom, education is very crucial factor which gives capacity, capabilities, and what it has a power to give literacy and confidence in the individuals, as well as what education develops the positive attitudes of the people towards looking at the society. Because of that, all sort of social injustice, all sort of social ignorance, discrimination will be uprooted. For example, providing education to the poor and marginalized children and the young people often means they are more likely to participate in the meeting of local political bodies, managing resources such as education, health, and water. That's why education is almost inevitable for the poor people and marginalized children. Marginalized means those children who are not provided opportunities of any sort. They are marginalized. They have been discriminated by society. They have been discriminated by the state. If they have been given chances of education, they can participate in the social meetings. They can participate in the local political meetings, and they can manage the resources such as education, health, and water. In this regard, education is the most indispensable part of the human being. This has become the most important part nowadays. The foundation for seeking quality of life and physical and psychological prosperity. If you want to be physically satisfied and psychologically satisfied, education is almost inevitable because it is the agent of seeking satisfaction in physical level and in psychological level. The educated people in the lesser degree or higher degree contribute in the national economy and maintaining good governance. Okay. Is there any problem? Does student have any problem?
No, sir, no.
Okay, you can have a screenshot this time. I'm giving you a chance to have a screenshot. Okay. Within some second, 30 seconds of time is given to you. Please have a screenshot. This is first chapter, and we are going to second chapter after some grammatical items. And from the second chapter, you are writing yourself, and your full-fledged participation is reserved by your teachers and the school administration so that your creativity will boost up. Now 30 seconds of time is given to you. Thank you. Only this much. Have you taken the screenshot?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, word class. We are entering into the word class. But before that, I'd like to stop this. Okay. Once again, let's go to the textbook once again. Okay, this time grammatical practice. Word choice, parts of speech. You might have studied about parts of speech in your life. Okay. Dear student, you are given chance to have a screenshot of this. Okay, this grammar. Now, grammar part, we are here in grammar part. You are given chance to have a screenshot. Okay, I have a screenshot. Word class refers to the category of words of similar form or functions. Another name of word class is called parts of speech you might have studied in your school life. In the text below, certain words are underlined. Okay, while you read, try to identify which word class they belong to. Okay, one of you read it. One of you read it, please. I would like to ask the student to read here loudly. Okay, who is the Mishan? Mishan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you read.
Most governments around the world have temporarily closed educational institutions in an attempt to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. These nationwide closures are impacting over 60% of the total student population. Some 1 billion students and youth across the planet are affected by school and university closures due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Several other countries have implemented localized closure impacting millions of additional learners. UNESCO is supporting
Yes.
countries in their efforts to mitigate the immediate impact of school closures, particularly for more
Vulnerable.
vulnerable and disadvantaged communities, and to facilitate the continuity of education for all through remote learning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Here is also, I think, the global. Okay, who is interested to read the remaining part? Okay, Selija Chetri, you read the remaining one. The global education coalitions launched by UNESCO. Okay, you continue reading.
The Global Education
Coalition.
launched by Coalition launched by UNESCO
UNESCO.
seek for facility inclusive learning opportunity for children and youth during this period of sudden and unprecedented
Unprecedented.
unprecedented
Yes.
educational
Disruption.
disruption
Disruption.
in university investment in remote learning should both migrate the immediate disruption caused by COVID-19 and establish approach to develop more open and flexible education system for the further future. The global coalition
Global
member and
coalition.
prospective prospective member are encouraged to pay for the protection of learner person in information
Privacy and security.
privacy.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the text, the underlined words belong to different word class or parts of the speech. What are the underlined words here? Government, temporarily, and affected, then what? Immediate, the. These are the words which have been underlined, and in also. And which word class do they belong to? Here, example is given to you. The answers is given to you. In the text, the underlined words belong to different word classes or parts of the speech. Government's noun, you can write plural noun. Government's noun. Temporarily, this is adverb. Affected, this is verb. Verb 2, this is. And conjunction, which is also called coordinating conjunction. In is preposition, that is preposition of place. Immediate, that is adjective. And though is a determiner or article, definite article. Okay, you can find or identify the different word classes here: noun, adverb, verb, conjunction, preposition, adjective, and determiner. Okay, dear student, I have to give you homework here. I have to give you homework. All of you have a screenshot this B. Classify the underlined words into different word classes like that. This is the example for you, and this is the question for you. Okay, I have a screenshot. Okay, did you have a screenshot?
Yes, sir.
B.
Sir.
Okay, you have to send it in Messenger. All of you have to send it in Messenger. For example, the man who is wearing glasses is my uncle's friend. Here one, who is relative pronoun, wearing verb 4. Yes, that is a verb 4 or gerund. My is pronoun, possessive pronoun. Okay, who, that is relative pronoun, wearing verb 4, and my possessive pronoun. Okay, in this way, you are identifying the word class of this different situation. Okay. Okay, dear student, have you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, I would like to